Today marks the beginning of a brand new project in the Bedrock Guide world, and it is pretty ambitious. It's the largest project that I've done to date, and it actually began about 3 months ago with this room. If you need a refresher on how to build this combination lock door, make sure to check out that video, and while you're doing that, ignore my password because I don't want you guys knowing how to get in here. This is my secret room after all. You didn't peek, did ya? Well, take a peek at this. I think it's big enough, but honestly, I'm not so sure. And you're gonna see why here momentarily. It seems kind of silly that we're building such a massive project underground when we still haven't finished the iron farm build. I mean, have you seen this room? Have you seen this room? And not to mention the gold farm's not done, and I've got a bunch of stuff above ground that I'm gonna build, but in order to get to that, I need to get organized. And so today, we are starting a multi-episode project on storage, starting with a really incredible bulk storage silo. Oh, creepers! No! That is not the first time that's happened, and thankfully, this time, I think it didn't blow up any of my redstone. Rotten creepers. All right, storage room, let's talk. This is a huge wide open space, and like I said earlier, it may not be big enough for what I want to do in here, so we might need to do some more digging, but not today. The project I'm going to be tackling today will fit in this space, absolutely no problem. And to help us visualize, let's get an armor stand, and I want to introduce you to a brand new tool. And this tool is called Holoprint. And Holoprint was designed by a friend of the Bedrock community, Super Llama. He's been working pretty closely with Prowl on getting this refined and polished, and might I say, it's absolutely amazing. It is going to make life so much easier, especially when building a little bit larger projects. And as you can see, this is just one module, but if I punch the armor stand again, hey, look at that. This is kind of where the final build is gonna go. And this is a tutorial on bulk storage, so I'm not gonna do a tutorial on Holoprint today. If you do want to know more about it, let me know in the comments and maybe we will make a tutorial on Holoprint as a one-off video, but just know, this thing is absolutely incredible. It runs based off of where the armor stand is, but there's a tool in here where you can move it back and forth or up and down as needed. You can even rotate the hologram if you don't like how a build is fitting in a particular space. It's absolutely nuts. And the way this is designed, I can put another armor stand right here and it's not gonna do anything until I go up and punch it. And as you can see, I can toggle between the two structure files that are in this Holoprint file, so I can have two armor stands that do completely different things. So this is helping me to visualize what's going on in this space, and it will help me to, place the blocks in the correct place. Don't worry, this isn't cheating. It didn't actually build anything in the world. It is a hologram. I still have to get every single last material. This is basically just a giant blueprint in 3D space. So, amazing tool. Just introduced to the Bedrock Edition community by Super Llama, Holoprint. Go check it out. The link's in the description. Okay, I think I'm ready to start building, and I've got my hologram in place, and you might notice it's split in half now. I've done some brainstorming, and I think I'm going to change up my original plan ever so slightly. And to get started, I want to show you one thing about this Holoprint. You might notice that there are two armor stands, and there are actually two structures sitting here right now, and you can't really tell unless you look very closely, but check this out. This will give us our visualization of what the whole thing will look like when it's done. And if we toggle it, there we go. That's the first module that we're going to build. This, again, absolutely incredible tool. So let's get started with the build, starting with the row of chests. So I'm going to start with a platform made out of wool. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place one double chest facing forward right here. Normally, you would stack all of your chests facing the same direction. We are going to alternate directions so that one chest will be facing to the front and one chest will be facing to the side. And I'm going to do that all the way up. With this design, you could actually go up as high as you would like with your double chests, but 5 blocks up is about as high as you'd want to go. You might be able to get away with one more stacked on top of this, but it makes it a little bit easier to get to your stuff. But that's actually going to matter a little bit less for this storage system. So if you want to build it taller, by all means, do it. And the reason why it's going to matter less is because I'm going to put a hopper directly under this chest facing into that one, and then do the same thing. I'm going to alternate just like this so that whenever we put items in this top chest up here, they are going to funnel down through all of the chests and hoppers and land in this very bottom hopper. This is very important for a bulk storage system because you want really all of your supplies to go at the bottom where you're going to grab them from and then fill up from the bottom up. I want to be able to visually see without having to go to each chest how many materials I have available for building, because bulk storage is all about having your building blocks available when you need them. So I'm going to put one of the copper bulbs right next to a chest and actually just stack 5 of them right here. This in and of itself is not going to do anything, so we need a way to detect when this chest is full. So logically, what would happen is this whole thing would fill up until this last slot right here is full. And then the first item that goes into this hopper, we want to make sure tells this copper bulb, okay, nothing else can go in here. Go ahead and light up this bulb. And the easiest way to do that is to put one piece of wool right here for your structure block, followed by a comparator to read the hopper. Grab an observer and face it directly into the side of that comparator. And then on the side of the observer, place another wool block. And technically, this doesn't have to be wool, but this is what I'm choosing to use for all of my redstone builds going forward. And I can even color code them like I did with the combination lock door, just so that I can keep things straight as to what's what in more complicated builds. But this one's pretty simple, so we're just going to stick with one color. I'm going to put another one right here, followed by a repeater that goes directly into this block right here. So now, if we toss some items in, the light is toggled on because the state of this hopper changed. This comparator and this observer toggled power into this block, which toggled power to this repeater, and then toggled power to our light bulb. So then when this hopper finally runs out of items, it's going to toggle the bulb back off. Now we need to do something a little bit different with this hopper and that hopper because they're facing the opposite direction. So I'm going to toss a wool block right here on the side of this observer, and these 2 blocks right here will not interact, but what we want is a comparator right here to read this next hopper, followed by an observer facing into this comparator. Be careful that you don't accidentally place it facing down. It needs to be facing to the side with the red dot facing the back wall. And then I'm going to put 1 block right here, followed by a redstone torch, 1 repeater right there, followed by a block right here. Now, this is toggled on by default, and there's this little red dot here to show that it is constantly powered. The easiest way to fix that is to just go ahead and quickly take this torch off and then place it back on, and now it will toggle off. And even though this is receiving power right now, this bulb won't come back on until it reads a state change from the hopper. But I need to go ahead and wire up the rest of these, and it's pretty much the same thing. Any hopper that's facing the back is going to get the comparator, the observer, the block, and the repeater. And then any hopper that is facing to the side is going to get the configuration up here that we just did. If that's confusing to you at all, hopefully it's not. I went pretty slow. Just rewind the video and check it out again. Maybe I'll even try to be a good YouTuber for once and put those bookmarks in the video so it's easy to find. Anyway, I'm gonna finish this up and we'll come right back. If we take a look at the hologram now, everything is almost complete on our first row of double chests. I will make note as well, I didn't show this earlier when we were building the stack of chests. There is a hopper going into the top one as well, because we do need a way to get items into that first chest. So that's the hopper there, and I went ahead and hooked up the comparator, observer, block, and repeater into this top light up here. So now all 5 double chests have an indicator light to show whether the chest is full or not. This guy up here is the next thing I'm going to work on, and that is the indicator light to show that this is actively being loaded. So if I put some items in this hopper right here, you're going to see all 5 of these lights have come on. And if I empty out this hopper, and we'll let those last few tick through there, once the hopper is empty, one by one, these copper bulbs will start to turn off, only leaving on the lights next to the double chests that are completely full. So right now, none of them are full, and they've all gone back off. But if I'm walking through my storage system and the storage system is in the process of loading items, I don't want to walk by here thinking I've got a full stack of items. So this light up here is going to solve that problem. I'm going to start right here on this input hopper. and put one hopper right here. And then I'm gonna toggle off the hologram because I know how to build this from memory, I hope. I'm gonna put another hopper facing this direction into that hopper. And then I'm gonna put a block behind this hopper right here with a comparator facing this direction toward the back of the wall. And then a hopper facing into, not down, but into that comparator. And this is going to be the beginning of our sorting system for these columns. So I'm gonna place a block here, and then a block 1 down. And then we'll go underneath here and place a temporary block right here, one block right here, one block right here, and then break that temporary block. And if you've seen sorting systems before, you've seen them a million times. They have not changed in like a decade. So redstone, redstone, redstone. If you can guess what goes next, you're an experienced Minecrafter. If you're not, that's okay. That's why you're here watching the Bedrock Guide. We're gonna place a repeater right there, and then a redstone torch right here. And that is going to power this block, which is going to lock this hopper, which is going to make sure that no items can leave this top hopper, sort of. So if I put a couple of items in here, this comparator recognizes that there are items in that hopper and starts lighting up the redstone. As soon as 42 items enter this first slot, plus the 4 in these last 4 slots, this redstone signal will be strong enough to power that repeater, which will turn that torch off, which will unlock this hopper and allow as many items out of this hopper until the redstone signal strength lowers enough to turn all of this back off and relock this hopper. So, for example, I'll toss a full stack of wool in there, and now everything is funneling down into the storage system until this stack of wool reaches 41 items, and then it stops because this redstone signal strength is no longer powerful enough to turn off that torch. How is this going to help us with our indicator light? That is where this target block comes into play. I'm gonna put a target block right here on the side of this redstone. I absolutely love target blocks because they can connect up to signals in ways that normal blocks can't. If I were to put a regular wool block right here, this redstone, not gonna do anything right here. So if I put a target block right there, the redstone will hook up to this, and then I'm gonna put a redstone torch right on top, followed by one wool block and one sticky piston, which will extend because this is powered by default. And on the end of the sticky piston, I'm going to put one redstone block, and then I'm going to put a temporary wool block directly underneath that redstone block with a hopper facing forward, and then I'll break this wool and then put a hopper facing into this hopper, and this is going to create a hopper clock. If I put one item, any item, in here, you can see that it's disappeared. Well, it's gone into this hopper right here, and it is locked in place and cannot do anything until this redstone block is moved out of the way. So when you get items into this hopper right here, strong enough to activate all of this sorting system, which means this redstone dust right here has to be powered. When items start flowing into the double chest column, this sticky piston is going to retract and allow this hopper clock to start ticking. Then from here, this is the easiest part of the whole thing. I'm going to put one wool block right here, another comparator to read the hopper clock, one observer facing into the comparator, and then directly attached to the side of the comparator is our copper bulb. And that's it. The entire first module is complete. I'm gonna demonstrate one more time. If I put a full stack of wool in here, that retracts, the hopper clock is going, and the copper bulb is blinking to let us know that this is actively loading, and once it is finished loading, that bulb will turn off, along with the rest of these, and again, if any of these chests are full, the light bulbs over here will stay powered on. Absolutely amazing. I love this design. I'm so excited that I was able to come up with it, and now I just need to build it a bunch of more times. While I'm building this, I'm not gonna sit here and make you watch it. How about you enjoy this little surprise that I put together for Prowl? Several months ago, Prowl allegedly killed me with the charged creeper. And since that day, I carefully plotted my revenge. I sent Prowl on a creaking scavenger hunt through his dark oak forest, and at first, everything was going great. I lured him in with a false sense of security, and he fell for it, hook, line, and sinker, as he started finding that I actually gave him some good prizes. However, one of my creaking hearts was set to a trap that was months in the making. I carefully placed 2 charged creepers that would fly up a water elevator, flanking Prowl while he reads the word that would ring out through Bedrock Guide history. Boom. So yeah, my trap failed, but I had one final hope. Prowl had only found 4 of the 5 creaking hearts, so I waited, and
I don't trust BluJay. No! I should have known. I should have known. Justice for BluJay. Okay. He couldn't just accept that I won. He couldn't.
Well, BluJay is now the new PvP champ. It's about time. So the moral of this story is, if you're going to plot revenge against your server mate and wait several months to execute your perfectly crafted plan and build the thing at 3 o'clock in the morning, make sure you like quadruple check that nothing is blocking the creepers. I can't believe I did that. But this sword right here is my consolation prize. This sword forever has Prowl's name written on it. I'm gonna have to retire it. It's just too perfect. I'm so happy. Here's a secret button that I'm going to remove because I still want to use my combination lock for this room, but for the sake of getting in and out quickly for the project, speaking of the project, take a look at all that I have done while you were watching my failed prank. It's not perfect, but it's getting there. There's absolutely no texture variation in any of these builds here, so I'm gonna have to correct that at some point, but that's a problem for another day. The last thing that I want to show you on this storage system is a quick way to link all of these up to an input system so that if this is all you want to do, you can do that. I'm only gonna do that temporarily because I have a really cool idea that I'm narrowing in on a solution for, but that's gonna be something I cover in the next episode or sometime here very soon. I got a really fun way to get all of our items to the different modules that are going to be in this storage room. But here's where we're going to start. I don't have very many hoppers left, so I'm just going to make this very simple. Just to give you a basic idea of how to do this, go to the very end of where you want your distribution line to stop and make sure you've got a hopper facing down or sideways if you want to carry it onto a trash can for overflow and things like that. But just, again, to keep it simple, put your hopper facing down into the hopper that has the items to be sorted. Then from here, just take some hoppers and connect them up. And with this system in particular, I can't just take another hopper and put it here and go directly in a straight line because it's gonna start backfilling my hopper clock for the blinker. So I gotta go around it. And once you've gone around, you can go back behind and funnel the hopper directly back over this one. But you notice this one is not facing down. We need the items to be able to continue moving forward down the line until they're at the end point. But let's say, for example, if I put deep slate tiles in here, anytime deep slate tiles pass this hopper, they're going to get pulled down into this one. And once the sorting system reaches the threshold to allow items down into the chests, it will funnel them on down and start stacking them up. You can easily carry this hopper line to wherever you want your drop-off spot to be. And for right now, it's going to be here. This is all super temporary because I have something much better in mind. But from here, I can just go ahead and toss in my deep slate tiles. And then maybe I'll put in some cobbled deep slate as well. In the first sorting slot, all of these deep slate tiles are going to start funneling in. And now this is working absolutely beautiful. And once it funnels through all of the deep slate tiles, the cobbled deep slate is going to pass on by to the next sorting system. Notice as well that I've renamed these wool blocks to sub to BluJay, which you should absolutely do, please. But I've renamed this so that no item in the game matches this, and these will never get filled up with any other item. The only item that will get filled up is the first slot, which is the item to be sorted. And now cobbled deep slate is going down into this row of chests. And I know I only hooked up 2 modules, but if we were to do this entire room, I could carry all of those hoppers down to the end of this row, maybe bury the hopper line underground and carry it over to here, grab a water elevator and start doing the hopper line up there. The possibilities are pretty endless for what you can do, or you could just group them all together in one spot and call it a day. And before I call it a day on this project, there has been one thing that I have wanted to do for over a year now, and I'm finally getting to the place today where I can make it happen. I now have armor stands in my world, and these are special armor stands. These are for you guys. This is just a small way that I can say a huge thank you to anybody who has ever supported my channel, and these armor stands are about to grow, because this doesn't even represent the number of people that are currently supporting my channel, and maybe one of these could be you. But for today, I've just populated this row of armor stands, starting with the people who have been the longest supporters on my channel, and the top 4, would you believe it, have been supporting me for 39 months. First of which is Nogri. my good friend, thank you so much. Pleasant Bump 539, Navdaz 76, and Wonky Dude Happy Gaming. All 4 of them have been here for 39 months as supporters, and that just blows my mind. And the rest of these guys are not too far behind that. I've got Donald Chilcott, Little Red Hen 77, Old Aussie Al, Ding Walrus, and I'll mention as well the people who have been supporting the longest. I started with the chests, and then I went to the in-between sections as well. So now we have HWC Rebel 2727, thank you so much. Rebel was the one who helped me design that piston door up there, by the way, the puzzle part of it. Huge thank you. Beckanoid, Minotaur, Life Taker, and right here in the center, below the piston door, is Mr. Puggy 33MC. Thank you so much, my friend. Theodore Thompson, Tank Wolfshade, SFX Shadow, and X Int Catch. That is not an all-encompassing list, so if you have been a supporter for a while, and there's a lot of you that I have still yet to put in this room, I'm gonna get it done. So if your name is not on this wall just yet, it's coming, but know that I am so thankful for you and appreciative of all of the support you've given my channel over the years. You guys have been so incredible. Thank you so much. From the bottom of my BluJay heart. Okay, so here's what I wanted to say about these armor stands on the chests as well. The reason why these are going to be a little bit special is because these armor stands are going to hold the item that's inside of the silo. I need to turn off Holoprint. 1 second. Also, I needed to turn actions and stuff back on. I've been playing this entire episode without it. You really can't use Holoprint and actions and stuff together, so you kind of got to pick one or the other, but you can easily alternate. But anyway, that's beside the point. These armor stands are going to hold the items that are inside of these chests, and as I'm running along the row here, you can see how those items are sticking out from the edge, so I can easily see, as I'm going through my storage system, what types of items are in each silo. This is my favorite part of the entire thing. I'm not exactly sure what's gonna go in these silos yet. Absolutely several of these will be dedicated to stone. I have a lot of it, but that's something I'm going to work on in my next live stream or off camera to get sorted out before the next episode, where we're going to continue working on this project. As far as the bulk storage goes, this is finished. The only thing left to do is the item input to connect all of these together. I've got a really cool idea for that, and I need to focus on it a little bit more before I implement it in this room. So it's coming soon, and I'm really happy with what we've done today, and I hope you are too. Leave me a comment if you enjoyed it. Drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And hey, don't go anywhere. We're coming back very soon.